Hey, Reg, how you doing?
I'm very well, Mary. Thanks. How are
Good.
you?
I should have grabbed a coffee, but I didn't. That's okay.
Well, I've got coffee and water, so I can
Okay,
have
well,
one for
can you
you.
send one over? Anyway, Reg is up in Courtney, British Columbia. Um,
Campbell River.
Campbell River, that's right, just above Courtney.
Yes.
As you can see, his guitar is behind him, and he can really play the guitar, and he can sing. And I'm
Mhm.
going to go visit you guys one of these days.
Look
I've known
forward to
Reg
it.
for, gosh, Reg, maybe 20 plus years, somewhere in there, maybe longer.
It's it's quite a while.
It's
Yes.
quite a while, and I really love to be with you and Kish. Kish is just, you're just wonderful people.
Thank you.
So, Reg and I were talking yesterday, and Reg is very, very knowledgeable in the CBD arena because he had previously worked with a company before CBD came on the surface and became a big buzzword, let's say. And Reg has a lot of knowledge about it. So we're not going to share all his knowledge. We're going to kind of give you an overview of the benefits of CBD and how it can help you. And we're going to compare it to another also beneficial product called glutathione. And you're going to be quite amazed. Uh, just a quick overview for Canadians or those who don't know. About 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, the company that we are with it's called CTFO. It's been an amazing company. Introduced probably I believe, and Reg probably agrees with me, the best CBD products really in the globe. They really are. We've had such amazing stories and benefits, and me personally have had great stories. So we ran with it at the beginning of 2018 and started sharing with people. Well, I got to tell you, Reg, I don't know if you know, but I was astounded. I think 9 of the 10 people I told about it wanted the product, and the sales were just blasting. It was just incredible. Well, it wasn't too long before the company realized that the border security was seizing our products, and we had a tremendous amount of products being held by Canadian security customs. And so here's all these people waiting for all this product. Well, as it turned out, and the company didn't realize that it was controlled substance. As ridiculous as it sounds that marijuana is legal in Canada, hemp CBD is not, and there's no THC in hemp CBD. So it's kind of backwards. But anyway, so the company paid back well in excess of $500,000 to all these customers and members, US, in product loss. And so we had been waiting and waiting and waiting, and we decided we can't wait for Health Canada to get their act together anymore. It will happen. It will happen, but I can't put it on hold. So the company came out with an incredible, incredible product, a glutathione precursor that Reg is going to also share his vast knowledge because he's been studying and researching. Reg is a real detail person. I'm a simple give me the basics person. So we want to appeal to the people watching this, you who would like just to simply understand how these things, what they do and how they benefit you and your health. So Reg, I'll hand it over to you. We're going to not make this a long session. We're just going to keep it simple and try and get this information across.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, Mary, I'll just step back in time a little bit to help flesh out something that will help perhaps
Excellent.
our listeners understand a little more about this. I knew nothing about marijuana, or almost nothing about marijuana and hemp or anything prior to 2014. When I was asked out of the blue to step in and oversee a company that was going through a period of ownership transition. It turns out this company was a licensed by Health Canada research and development facility in British Columbia. And they were doing extensive research and product development in the arena of the cannabis plant family. And I knew nothing about that prior. I stepped in cold. I was asked on a Sunday. I stepped in on Tuesday morning after the long weekend to run this company for 2.5 months. And it was an amazing experience. I learned so much. I was able to spend time in the labs with the research doctors and chemical analysts. So I learned of the potential of the cannabis plant family for health and for healing and so on. So my commitment there ended after 2.5 months, and I went on about my life and thinking that that would be the end of that as far as my involvement in that area was concerned, because it was marijuana and hemp were both illegal substances in Canada at that time. In 2018, Mary approached me. She says, Reg, I'm just getting involved with a California-based company that is bringing on stream an extremely high-grade line of hemp CBD products. It's something you need to know about, and because of how I know you, it's something you need to get involved with, so just do it. And that, if you know Mary, you know that's the way Mary does things. And so I said, okay, that sounds really interesting. I'm fascinated by the whole subject, but I've learned enough in my experience in that research and development facility to know that all products are not created equal. This is a very rapidly growing industry. There's going to be a lot of players coming on stream with questionable products just to make a fast buck. And I said, I'm not interested in having anything to do with one of those. So I said, let me do my due diligence, which I did. And it took me several months before I satisfied myself on the company, the integrity of the company, how they do business, the quality of the product, et cetera, et cetera. So what I learned through that experience was that Mary said that we have probably some of the best stuff in the world. And I fully concur with that. And that was a conclusion I came to. And then CTFO aligned themselves with 10X Pure and came out with a 10X Pure line of CBD products that took it to a completely different level. Nobody else has anything like that. So that was all wonderful. And as Mary says, we had the product for a little bit, then it was taken away. Actually, hemp is legal in Canada, just as marijuana is, but hemp is classified in the same category as marijuana. Neither marijuana nor hemp are allowed into the country from outside of the country. So it gets very complicated, but the long and short of it is the product was taken away from us. So most of us Canadians at that point, we had just started getting things going and we put the brakes on because all of a sudden our product was gone. And so sure, we had some other products, but good products, but they weren't sort of leading edge, unique products for the marketplace. Then early this year, well, first of all, I'll just step back a little bit and talk quickly about why hemp CBD is such a big deal. Hemp CBD has a unique relationship with a system of our body called the endocannabinoid system. And this is a system that was unknown to the medical community up until 1992, when Dr. Meshulam, an Israeli doctor heading an international research team doing work out of Israel they were researching the cannabis plant family and the health benefits of it. And in the course of that, they discovered that the body had another system that was unknown to the medical community up until that time. So we all know about the immune system and the nervous system and the circulatory system, et cetera, the digestive system, but they didn't know about this thing called the endocannabinoid system. And so Dr. Meshulam and his team named the system endocannabinoid, endo meaning inside, cannabis meaning relating to the cannabis plant family. And what they learned was this system is almost like a master regulatory system of the human body. It helps keep all of the other systems in balance. And this is particularly important for the immune system because an underperforming immune system results in us getting sick, getting all kinds of ailments. An overperforming immune system results in autoimmune disorders. So it's not just a matter of building the immune system, it's a matter of regulating it, keeping it healthy. And so that's what the endocannabinoid system, when it's healthy, does for our body. And they learned that the endocannabinoid system has a unique relationship with CBD and the other cannabinoids that are part of the cannabis plant family. So that's why it's such a big deal. And the more we learn about that, the more we understand how important that is to our health. So, okay, so that's really it. So I thought, after I learned all, I spent a long, long time researching this kind of stuff. And the more I learned, the more I thought, oh my goodness, there is nothing else in the health world that can touch this stuff. Until early this year, CTFO aligned themselves with a formulator by the name of Robert Gauthier, a Canadian, who had developed, a few years ago, had developed a glutathione precursor product that was having amazing impacts on health. Now, my wife Kish and I have been involved in the nutritional supplement world directly or indirectly for many, many years, going back to the beginning of our friendship with Mary. And so we were pretty knowledgeable, or thought we were. But I have to admit, I knew very little about glutathione and its importance. So the company made this announcement. When was that, Mary? February, March, something like that. They announced it. February, I think it was. And so I started researching glutathione because the company was saying, look, this is a really big deal. This is a great product. So my first thought was, yeah, you're just trying to pacify us Canadians and give us something because we don't have CBD. So I started doing my research. And the more I learned, the more my eyes opened. And all of a sudden, I came to this understanding that it was far more than I had ever imagined. And the reason that it's not commonly known, I believe, the reason it's not commonly known in the nutritional supplement world is because the glutathione is a molecule that is manufactured inside the body, primarily in the cells of the liver. And so there are glutathione supplements out there, but they don't work very well because the glutathione molecule is a large molecule that is easily destroyed in the digestive tract. So it doesn't get through, most of it doesn't get through to the digestive system into the bloodstream and then to the cells. So there are other ways of supplementing with glutathione. There is a misting methodology. There is intravenous, and they use the hospitals in emergency situations where people have Tylenol toxicity and they're dying because of overload of Tylenol. They use glutathione intravenously to stop that process, that toxicity process, to save the life. The problem with that kind of glutathione is it has a very short life of about 2 hours or so. And after it's in the body for that period of time, it starts to break down. It starts to oxidize and becomes toxic itself. Now, it's done its job of stopping the death of a person because of that toxicity, but it's a short-term solution. When the body produces its own glutathione, it is called intracellular glutathione. Intra meaning in the cell, produced in the cell. Any glutathione that we're aware of at this time that is brought into the body from an external source, even if it gets into the bloodstream, it will raise the glutathione level in the bloodstream, but it will not get into the cells. The cells won't allow it in because it's perceived as not natural. And why that's important is when we understand glutathione is a defender in our cells of something called, another molecule called the mitochondria. So if you can imagine that in your cell, in our body, mitochondria is the engine. It's what generates power. It's wonderful stuff. Without it, we'd be dead. So it generates power. Unfortunately, it's really, really susceptible to attacks by free radicals and toxins and things like that. So it gets destroyed unless there's an adequate amount of glutathione in the cells. And glutathione is the defender. So it attacks these free radicals, neutralizes them, flushes them out of the system. Mitochondrial stays healthy. We've got energy. Our cells function better. Our tissues and organs, everything functions better. You want to ask them?
Okay, so which do you think, both are beneficial to our bodies, both CBD and both glutathione? In our case, it's called CellUV. Both are beneficial to the body, but what do you think, which one would you think is more beneficial? Is there one that's more?
They're both hugely beneficial, but I'll say this. I'll start by saying this. Both Kish and I, my wife Kish and I, who've been taking CellUV now since the beginning of June, we've experienced amazing benefits from taking our CBD oils while we could still get them. But after this period on CellUV, both of us agree, in fact, we were just talking about it early this morning, both of us agree that if we had to choose one, it would without question be CellUV, the glutathione precursor. Now, this, and I'll very quickly tell you why. First of all, CellUV, this product that we have, is a far bigger deal than 99.9% of the people realize.
Mhm.
And the reason is because it is not a glutathione supplement. It is a tripeptide amino acid chain, a specifically formulated chain of nutrients that get through the digestive system into the cells of the body. And the cells then naturally create their own glutathione, which then can protect the mitochondrial. Now, why this is particularly interesting is every single cell of our body has glutathione and mitochondria. And so every cell, from the tip of our toes to the top of our scalp, every cell needs to have a healthy balance of glutathione.
Okay,
And
so who needs glutathione? What?
everybody. Well, I'll tell you why, because as I said, our body naturally produces it. But when we reach the age of 20-ish, our body starts to slow down the production. So every year after 20-ish, our production levels drop by about 1% plus. And that means the levels of glutathione in our body drop as well. And that's why, as we get older, we become more susceptible to ailments because we don't have as much glutathione to protect ourselves. So, and as we become more susceptible to ailments and we get these ailments, we're also less capable of recovering or healing from them.
Mm-hmm. You've had some pretty amazing stories, I know, with the people that you've put on it. And I know the people that you refer to it or recommend, starting on it, you start them with a loading dose of three times a week for the first week, twice a week for the second week, and once a day for the third week. And then I've done that loading dose, and actually I do it twice a day because I really like it. And I sleep better with it. So I take it at night and in the morning, but you don't have to. Eventually you can take it once a day. But if you have health issues, would you take it more often than that?
Well, yeah, I just want to come back to that, Mary, because what you said there is so important for everybody to understand. Anybody that's, sort of in the business of selling nutritional supplements or so, the tendency is to make it as easy as possible for a prospect or a customer to say, yes, I'll try it. And what's critical with this product, though, is to religiously follow the formulator, Robert Gauthier's recommended protocol for taking this product. So it's easy to say to somebody, oh, here, try a bag of Cell-UV, take a scoop a day, and it's good stuff. But if they do that, there's a good chance they're not going to get anywhere near the benefit that they're capable of getting. So the formulator says, no. You take the recommended dosage, the maintenance dosage is 1 scoop per day. You mix it with juice, or I mix mine with orange juice. Kish has hers just with water. But you mix it in with a liquid and then you drink it, 1 scoop a day. That's the maintenance dosage. But the formulator's, Robert Gauthier's recommended starting protocol is for the first 15 days, you take 3 scoops. 2 in the morning before breakfast, first thing, before you even have a cup of coffee. 2 scoops in the morning, and then 1 scoop before your evening meal. You do that for 15 days. Then for the next 15 days, you take the 2 scoops in the morning, and that's it. You don't need the one before your evening meal. And then after that second 15 days is over, from then on, you take 1 scoop in the morning, period. Now, Mary, I agree with you. If somebody has a significant health condition, if it were me, I'd stay on 2 scoops. I'd do the 2 scoops in the morning, or 1 in the morning and 1 before the evening meal. I would stay on 2.
Or if you're elderly.
Or if you're elderly.
Or you really don't have any glutathione.
For sure, because you can imagine, once a person reaches 60, 70, especially 80 or more years of age, the typical person, their glutathione levels are extremely depleted. And that's why you think of this whole COVID thing that's going around, right? Who are the most susceptible to that? It's people with pre-existing health conditions and the very elderly. Why? Low levels of glutathione.
Yes, I've read that. There's lots of articles on it. So Reg, we don't want to make this too long, but I think what we're going to do is after we finish this later, we'll do another video and you can share how you direct people in sharing it and using it and what you do with your team. So is there anything else you want to finish this one off with?
Yeah, just this. I didn't understand how significant, what a major role glutathione plays in the body, and which by default then, I didn't understand how significant CellUV was as a product. And, you know, so I was waiting like everybody else, or most everybody else, I was waiting for us to be able to get CBD back into the country. Well, when CellUV came on the scene and I started learning about it, it was like, okay, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't need CBD to build a business here. We can help gazillions of people and build a very big business with CellUV. If we never got CBD, we could do it with CellUV.
Yep.
It's a really big deal. Now, here's the thing. Very few people know about it. So it's going to take a little bit of education. But if we can just drip some information on people so that they come to understand what this is, it's like, oh my goodness. And here's what's so important about that. CBD is, Mary uses the term buzzword. Absolutely true. It's a buzzword. Everybody knows about it. It's been in the media. It's all over the place. But there are also a whole lot of companies selling CBD, selling hemp CBD. Some of it's good, not that much of it, but some is good. Some of it's mediocre, a lot of it's mediocre, and a lot of it's not good at all. But there's a lot of competition. In this world, of the world of glutathione precursors, my research so far has shown that we are one of only 3 products in the marketplace that I'm aware of, and the other 2 products seem to be getting similar kinds of results to what CellUV is getting. So there are 3 of us in the marketplace at this time that I'm aware of, and this is internationally. The other one is, one of the other ones is a US company, and the third one is Australian. Well, here's what I learned about that. Let's assume that we've got 3 products and they're all fantastic, right? They're all doing this wonderful job. Well, the one out of the US is 40% more expensive than ours. And it's also purportedly not as bioavailable, but let's say it is. It's 40% more expensive. The one out of Australia is more than double the cost of CellUV.
Wow. And I know one of their sales are massive, even at that price.
Exactly. And
Massive.
So do you think we have a unique selling position here?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
the door's open for it. I think it's very exciting.
And this is why we're doing this, is trying to get people to understand what we have.
Sure.
You're the best. Love you.
Love you.
And we'll talk to you soon. And thanks so much for sharing, Reg.
My pleasure.
Have a good
Anytime.
day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
How do I stop my recording? Where is it?